Well, good morning. If I could have had a 666 on the digital clock, I would have done that. But of course, there is no 666. It starts over at 659 zeros. So anyway, the title of this video is Hanging Out at the Bar Plotting Crimes. I listened to Rod Class talk about the International Tribunal for Natural Justice before going to sleep the other night. That was a mistake. It took over 3 hours to fall asleep. He was talking about the Bar Association, an international group of attorneys and judges who work for the international bankers. Together they plot crimes against humanity, subverting justice and corrupting virtually all major institutions on our planet. Every war is planned as a means to expand their wealth and exploit humanity. Even those in their number who might otherwise be idealists are entrapped in their system that itself is an affront to human rights. Thank God there are growing numbers of people around the world banding together to expose and bring down this nefarious racketeering enterprise. May God speed the success of these champions of freedom standing up to the bar. Yes, I actually wrote that blurb, with the exception of changing last night to the other night. As I was waiting for Aristo to arrive yesterday, he had the time a little bit skewed because he didn't realize that here in the United States we had sprung ahead, which means we lost an hour. So there was an hour difference in what time he thought it was and what time it actually was here, which if you listen to the video you understand that there was a little bit of a mix-up there. But anyway, I didn't know if he was going to show up, so I actually prepared to do a video yesterday just in case there was something that happened that he was unable to show up. So I'm doing this a day later than I might have otherwise done it. That said, I was in court on Thursday, and it was interesting. I had filed a counterclaim and an amended counterclaim with the state attorney's office, with the police department in Fort Pierce, Florida, and of course with the court. And when they called me up, I had just walked through the gate at the bailiff's signaling me to come ahead, and the judge said, "This case has been dropped. Take a seat and we'll bring you your paperwork." I didn't get to say a single word. Now, of course, they didn't address the counterclaim. That will have to be addressed in another way, and we'll see how that works out, whether it's a federal court or whether we make some other kind of arrangement. But they owe me. They owe me big time. They should have dropped the case, actually, the last appearance, because they didn't have their witness ready. And when the state does not have their witness ready, the proper procedure is not a continuance, but actually it's dropping the case, because there's no one to witness against me, and I'm there ready to go. So they play a game, but the bar continues to play games, and I want you to understand that even though all bar attorneys are not corrupted completely, the system itself of the Bar Association and a bar certification and a bar education is, as I said, it's a crime against humanity. The international bankers, we all know, want to rule the world. These are egomaniacs whose only goal is to control everyone and everything on the planet for their own benefit. And in order to accomplish that, they've had to get lawyers and turn them into attorneys and create this international organization called the British Accredited Registry, where lawyers are registered with the bar in order to practice, although that's not under law, but that's under their rules because it's a private club and you and I are not in it. We're not part of their club. And so they plot at this bar, this legal system, if you will. They plot how to enrich themselves and how to milk us of our wealth and harvest our energy and take from us that which is ours for their own benefit. In other words, they are enslaving humanity. And I want you to understand and get that straight, that these people have a system built up, and the system is to deny justice, and they have their own rules, and their own rules are counterimposed to the rule of law, because they don't want the rule of law. They can't win when you start bringing actual law into it, or what's known as common law or common law maxims. They can't win. Even when you bring in constitutional law, they lose. There are plenty of rulings of the United States Supreme Court, state Supreme Courts, and other higher courts in the land that actually do verify rights, but they don't operate under the verification of rights even within their own system here in the United States. I'm not sure exactly how it is in the rest of the world, but that's how it is here. It's a criminal organization. It's a criminal syndicate. It would fail any test of the Sherman or other antitrust laws that have been on the books since the late 19th century. It would fail in any constitutional test, standing up even to the Constitution that was alterated a little bit, changing a few words here and there, of, you know, not the Constitution for the United States of America, but the Constitution of the United States of America. Little things like that. Little things like that they've changed, but they did not change actually the meat of it. And the interesting thing to me is that the United States Code and other such definitions and laws that have come onto the books after the establishment of the corporation of the United States of America, these things still go back and uphold, or at least in words only, uphold the law of the land, which is common law, which is rights protected by the Constitution, etc. Now, people said that they're operating under a different constitution, and the Constitution, even the original Constitution, was a corporate constitution. Well, that's simply that's not factual. How could it be a corporate constitution when the corporation didn't get installed in the United States until 1871? So anything that came before that could not have been a corporate constitution. The corporation system had not even been put in place yet. It may have been on the drawing boards of the Bar Association, of the international attorneys and bankers, but it was not implemented in the United States. In any case, I want people to understand, it's important for people to understand, that the system works the way it does because it's been subverted. It's been taken over by a criminal mindset. And did you know that in the United States, the original 13th Amendment forbade attorneys, among other things, anyone that held a title from another land, namely England, the bar attorney, the esquire, and things like that, anybody that held those positions could not serve in any political public sense office. They could not be legislators, they could not be judges, they could not be anything that had to do with a public office, because they were split in their allegiance. Their oath needed to be to the Constitution, and the Constitution of both the federal Constitution and the state Constitution. Their oath needed to be to that, and they subverted that. As I said in a previous video, since 2000 in the state of Florida, the oath of office has been changed to uphold and support the Constitution and the government, making the government equal. Well, that's subversion of the truth, because they want the government to be unequal. Actually, they don't want it to be equal. They want it to be above the Constitution, so that the government can do whatever they want to do. And this is all the machinations of a criminal organization, of a criminal enterprise known as attorneys, known as specifically as bar certified attorneys. And most judges in the United States have been, I don't know if there are any judges that were not first attorneys, and all of them were bar certified. Most politicians in the United States, most legislators, those that make the laws, are bar certified attorneys. Obama is a bar certified attorney. These are part of a criminal class, an elite class that has a purpose for humanity that is not good, folks. It's not good. And I pray with all my heart and all my being that somebody enable us, humanity, to overcome this beast. That's why I wanted to start at 666, because the bar is the beast. It's part of the beast operation. And it all goes back, believe it or not, to the Vatican, from which they derive this thing that they call canon law, or it's become admiralty or even military law, run by the Jesuits. So this is part of the criminal enterprise that we know of as the Illuminati now, because they took over the Illuminati, and they've taken over virtually all of the major institutions of our world. They've taken over the corporate. If it's incorporated, it's been taken over, unless it's just a little mom pa corporation that incorporates as a legal practice. But the big corporations are all part of this beast mentality, this beast of we can do whatever we want. Our word is law. It's the rule of a tyrant king, of a tyrant ruler. And this whole mechanism is destroying the world, not just humanity. It's destroying the planet with their fracking, with their manipulation of food, with their poisoning of medicines. Everything is being corrupted by this beast hanging out at the bar, plotting crimes. Crimes against humanity, crimes against you, crimes against me, crimes against our future generations, our children and our grandchildren, crimes against the world, crimes against Mother Earth, crimes against life itself. This is the kind of world that we live in, and we need to recognize it and own it. We need to take it within ourselves, and we need to heal within ourselves the parts of us that play that game, that parts of us that play in the old paradigm of greed and wanting to control others because we're afraid. No, we need to love one another. That's the only remedy. Loving, and I mean real loving. Real loving is recognizing in the other the divine that is also in you, which means you have to recognize it in yourself first. That's what love is. And when you recognize that other out there is a part of you, then you recognize the nature or the natural order of creation itself. It's holographic. Each part contains the whole. Each part is connected to the whole. Everything is ultimately one thing. It's all divine. It's all God and Goddess. It's all the masculine and feminine principle that co-creates. And it can co-create a dance just as easily as it does the duel. But that's a choice that we have to make. And we need to stand up to the bar and tell them, look, no more. You do not rule over us. You put your pants on the same as each of us put our pants on. You go to the bathroom the same. You sleep the same. You're just another human being. Even if you're of extraterrestrial origin or whatever, you're still just a human being. As long as you inhabit a human body, you're a human being. We need to become more than just regular human beings. We need to become superhuman beings. We need to become enlightened human beings that recognize that what I said, that the interconnectedness of life, the web of life is all one web. It's not two webs, and we don't get anywhere by dividing and conquering. That's the mentality of the Bar Association, the international bankers, and all the criminals that want to rule the world. This attitude, this archetype is in you, it's in me, and we need to heal it within ourselves. We need to embrace the shadow, as Aristo and I have been saying from the very beginning of these videos. We need to embrace the shadow and heal it. Not run away from it, not deny it, not avoid it, not call it by a different name, not say it's just an illusion. This is the energy that we have to deal with, and we have the opportunity to transform it so that 555 really can overtake 666, or if you want to go the other way, that 777 can overtake 666. However you want to see it, we need to have the higher energies of love take over the lower energies of greed and lust for power that have dominated the beast and have dominated us. We need to overcome that. And I guess I'm just going to include a little bit of a health thing. I'm not doing well. Yes, my kidneys are working better. Yes, my lungs are, if not completely clear, almost completely clear of fluid. But my heart is not doing well. It continues to go into atrial fibrillation, and I know when it goes in there, it drains my energy, and it goes in and out of it. I mean, yes, even last night when I'm listening to my son and his band play with a couple of wonderful friends that joined me, I could feel my heart at one point being really calm. But then by the end of the night, I was back in atrial fibrillation, and when I get home and try to go to bed, I'm still in atrial fibrillation. So it takes me over an hour to get to sleep, even though I'm totally exhausted, had a really busy day. And my feet and lower legs, not only are they swollen, but they hurt. And this is something new that's just starting in the last couple of days. It's actually uncomfortable in my lower extremities. And this is a major concern for me, so I ask you to continue to send me energy, and I don't know what I need to do to actually finalize the turnaround so that my heart is back normal most of the time, or all the time, and that my feet unswell and go back to normal, where I can see my ankles and not just a big fat foot. Anyway, thank you for listening, and thank you for your prayers and your support. I love each of you, and let's transform our world by transforming ourselves. Thank you. Namaste.